Bashevis singer. So he was a writer, a journalist, and he was also the winner of Nobel Prize for Literature. We have to be happy with whatever we have. We should be contented with whatever we have is what a singer tells us through this story. Atzel drifts to sleep, barely heeding her warning that only the dead can reach the paradise. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to understand one of the most funniest stories that is prescribed by University of Mysuru for first sem B.Ca. So we are going to study about the Fool's Paradise today. So Fool's Paradise is written by Isaac Bashevis Singer. Let us see what is there in today's session. Today we are going to understand about the author, then we'll move on to the importance of title and the theme. We'll understand the summary, then we'll see a few questions and answers that are very important here, and we'll go to the conclusion. So let us begin with the introduction of the author. Isaac Bashevis Singer, so he was a writer, a journalist, and he was also the winner of Nobel Prize for Literature. So he was a wonderful writer. So he was a writer of 3 nations. So he was very much admired. He was welcomed in the 3 nations. That is Jewish. He wrote in Yiddish language. Then he was an American writer and also a Polish writer. So he wrote in Polish language also. He was born in between 1902 and 1904. The date on which he was born is not known exactly. Leonson near Warsaw, and died on 24th July 1991 in Miami, Florida. So he was the author who was writing about the he was writing about the after effects of wars. So that the hardships, then the effects of wars is all seen in his stories, in his poems and all. But in this story, it is something which is comical. So let us see what is there in today's story. We'll now move on to the theme of the story. So there is a beautiful message in this Fool's Paradise that Singer has given us. This is an absurd way. It is very simple but an important moral lesson that has to be conveyed to the readers. Life is better than death, and wonderful paradise is nowhere else but on earth. That means we have to be happy with whatever we have. We should be contented with whatever we have is what Singer tells us through this story. This is a lesson that is relevant to everyone, be it children or the grown-ups. So let us see what is there. We'll start with the summary of it. The story opens with this scene, that is Atzel appearing as a child at bedtime. He begs Nanny to tell him his favorite story, the story of paradise. He loves the story of paradise because he is fed up of working here. He is fed up of studies, he is fed up of working. Whatever he is doing, being alive, he is fed up of that. He believes that paradise is a place where nobody has to do any work. One can be acting as per his own whims and fancies. So Nani describes a place. So she is describing this paradise now. So she describes a place where nobody works or strains themselves. Everybody enjoys luxuries usually reserved for the righteous. Means whoever deserves it only goes to the paradise, and only they enjoy all the luxuries is what the description of paradise that Nanny gives him. Atzel drifts to sleep, barely heeding her warning that only the dead can reach the paradise. So he starts believing that he is dead. He drifts to sleep, believing that he is dead. So he just goes there like that. He just drifts off to sleep. He doesn't even heed that what she is telling. So she is telling him that only the dead people can reach paradise, but he doesn't even listen to what she is telling. Atzel, now 18 years old, and his father Kaddish are laboring. Laboring is working hard to earn their living. So Atzel, who is due to marry beautiful Aksa, that is his neighbor. So she's starting to feel resentment towards the hard work. inherent in the adult life that lies before him. Now you can understand, you can get the picture of what this Atzel is. Okay, so is Atzel, what he does, he is fed up of working, as I told you. He is about to get married to Aksa, that is his neighbor. She was an orphan girl. She did not have parents, so she was being taken care by Atzel's family only, that is Kaddish, who was the father, and his wife, that is Atzel's mother. So Aksa was more or less the daughter of that house only. So Atzel and Aksa were supposed to be married, but of late Atzel has started feeling resentment towards the work he has to take up after he is an adult. So now he is 18 years old. After 2-3 years, he had to take up in some work to take care of his family, right? So he is fed up of that already. He reminisces about childhood and dreams of paradise. So he thinks of his childhood. He recalls his childhood days. He recalls how carefree he was. He was not doing any work, how he simply enjoyed whatever was coming. He realizes paradise could be the solution to his problems. So he doesn't want to take up work and take it as a challenge and do it, but he believes going to paradise was the solution for all his problems. So he treats this taking up of a work later, of a job later, as a problem, and he wants to find a solution for it. He sees that as a problem, and he sees paradise can be a solution for that problem. Imagining that he is dead, he announces to his loved ones that a funeral should be planned as he is on his way to paradise. Kaddish laments for his son. So here what happens? Now he believes that he is dead. So as he drifts to sleep, he is in his own world. So he believes that he is dead. Then he tells everybody that he is already dead, that they have to lament, they have to arrange for the funeral, and at the same time Kaddish laments for his son. So Kaddish lamenting is because he is acting foolishly. Okay, so that's the reason Kaddish is acting like, Kaddish is lamenting, but this fellow is in his own world. He is telling everybody that he is dead, everybody has to pray for him, arrange funeral, so all these. So now he believes that he is traveling to paradise. Atzel's parents, distraught, they did not have any other way, they did not have any other solution for this, seek counsel with Dr. Yoetz. So Dr. Yoetz is a person who solves all these psychological issues. So they approach him. Doctor asks for 8 days to cure Atzel. So he says, I can cure your son's problem if you give me 8 days. So he promises that this problem will be solved. And he also tells them, whatever I say, you have to do. So upon acting as per his instructions, this problem can be solved. So his plan is to ensure Atzel be careful what he wish for by burying the young man. So here he tells his parents, that is Atzel's parents, to do according to his instructions. He tells them that they are going to bury him. Okay, so he tells them to make arrangements so that they can bury him, and they can literally make him feel that he is dead and he has to go to the paradise. Both scared and hopeful, the parents agree to the remedy. A funeral is held. So now parents are not ready to do that. Okay, very reluctantly they agree to do what Dr. Yoetz says, and finally a funeral is going to be held. So all the arrangements are made for the funeral. Now what happens? He has to go to the paradise, right? So what happens now? Atzel's room is arranged to look like a paradise. Now they are trying to prove that he has landed in a paradise. So his room is arranged like a paradise. Atzel is delighted by angels who bring him cakes and ripe fruits. So now he is shown that he is in a paradise. So he has all that wings and all. So everything is in white, so more or less like this. So it is arranged like this, and there are all angels who move around with wings. Okay, so they bring him all the cakes, ripe fruits, everything. Lavish lunch or lavish meals were being arranged there. However, he begins to grow restless. Now, 1 or 2 days he could tolerate that, but later, when it was a practice, it was a routine, he started growing restless, desiring to get out of bed and use his body. So all the time he was sitting eating, sleeping, sitting, eating, sleeping. So all this, it was actually repeating. It had become a routine. So now he started growing restless. He wanted to use his body for something. When he asked one of the angels, they say that in paradise they do nothing. He wanted to study something. So that is not allowed in the paradise. He wanted to visit the neighbors. That is also not allowed in the paradise. So when you read the story, right, when you read the text of the story, you will feel that, you can feel that comical element that is there, the sarcasm that is there in the story. So the angels remind him that in paradise, one need only relax and enjoy oneself. So the only thing that one has to do in paradise is to relax and enjoy, nothing else. Okay, Atzel finds that this place is also burdened by routine and boredom. So now he feels that this routine and boredom, which he used to feel when he was alive, that is there even after death. So that is there even in the paradise. So he feels that paradise is not a better place at all. He used to feel that, like when he used to be on this end of the greenery, he used to feel that end is more green. But now he could understand that when he went that side, he used to feel that no, the earlier life was actually better. Resentful, he wants out of paradise and wishes he were alive. Now he wants to be alive. He wants to do all the work that he used to do when he was alive. The angels declare him unready for their world and announce his return to life. Now these angels actually, when he tells that he wants to get out of paradise, 2 days he was made to stay there. Then later angels come and tell him that there was a mistake in bringing him to the paradise. Actually, he is not dead, he is alive only, and he is asked to sleep in the coffin again so that they can take him back to the world which he was there as when he was alive. So they tell him and they bring him back to the life. So this story takes place now. Yeah, Atzel is welcomed back to life by his family and fiancée Aksa. So in the meantime, when he asks about Aksa to the angels, so they tell him that 1 or 2 days she might cry for you, but later on she will find somebody else better than you and she will get married. So that also is there in his mind. So he wanted to go back and marry Aksa. So that is what happens here. Atzel is actually welcomed by everybody and also the fiancée Aksa. He has realized his love for life. Now he could realize that he loves his life more than the paradise. So he has realized something. So this is indirectly a message to those who are very reluctant to take up responsibilities. Okay, a celebration ensures that the wedding of Aksa and Atzel. So here there is the wedding that takes place, that is Atzel and Aksa, they both get married. So the story ends happily in this way. Okay, there are few important question and answers we need to understand over here. Why did Atzel become ill? So the only reason he became ill was he wanted to go to paradise. He wanted to go and live in the paradise. That's why he becomes ill. So who is Aksa? Aksa is actually a relative of Khadesh who lived with them. Atzel and Aksa, they ate, played and studied together. She was actually an orphan. That also you may add over there. What was told by an old nurse to Atzel about paradise? So that nanny was there, no? So what did she tell about the paradise? She told him that in paradise it was not necessary to work or to study. One can eat the meat of wild oxen and flesh of whales and can drink wine and sleep at any hour of the day. Means nothing that you can just work as you wish. You can just be as you wish. So that is what she had told. So what was the nature of Atzel? Atzel hated to get up early. He knew that one day he would have to take over his father's business and he did not want to. So he was very lazy actually. He did not have any responsibility. He was very lazy. So he did not want to take up the responsibilities. That was the nature of Atzel. What was the only way to go to paradise? So you already know, only way to go to paradise was to die. Okay. So what did Atzel do to go to paradise? So what did he do? He decided to go to paradise as soon as possible. He thought about so much that he soon began imagining that he was dead. So he starts imagining that he was dead and that actually comes to his body also. So as soon as possible he wanted to reach the paradise. That's why he starts believing first, believing that he was dead. What is the name of the doctor who treated Atzel? So all these are 1-mark questions wherein you can answer in a phrase. So if you just write the name of the doctor, that is Dr. Yoetz, that is enough. You need not have to complete the sentence also. So the name is enough. How was the condition of Atzel when Dr. Yoetz visited his home? So what was his condition? What was his mindset? You are asked. Atzel lay on his bed, pale and thin from fasting. So he was fasting. Why was he fasting? Because he had decided that he was dead. He was believing that he was dead and he wanted to go to paradise. So if he doesn't eat, he will be dead and he can go to paradise is what he believed. So this was the condition of Atzel when Dr. Yoetz visited the house. What did the doctor exclaim after taking a look at Atzel? So as soon as the doctor came and looked at Atzel, what happened? So he says, why have you kept a dead body in the house? Why don't you make a funeral? So this is what the doctor says as soon as he sees Atzel over there. First only Khadish and his wife would have met the doctor and they would have explained the condition of his. So as soon as he comes and visits, he tells these words over there. How did the doctor request to prepare the room? So now what did the doctor request? He requested them to prepare the room like a paradise. That is, decorate the room like a paradise. So it should look like a paradise so that he will be doomed. That is, Atzel will be doomed and he will feel that he is already in paradise. What was done with Atzel? Atzel was placed in an open coffin and a funeral ceremony was held. So he believed that he was dead. He had to experience everything. That's why an open coffin was placed and the funeral was held, so that he believes that he is going to the paradise. Okay. So these are the few important questions you had to understand. What happened once Atzel was made to sleep in the coffin? So after he was made to sleep, what happened over there? He fell asleep. He actually drifted to sleep over there. When he was awake, he could not recognize the place which he was in. Okay, after he woke up, he was not in a position to recognize the place he was there. When asked with the servant, he said that Atzel was in the paradise. So servant tells him that he was in the paradise. What did Atzel eat in the paradise? So there is a lavish meal that he eats every day. Okay, all the 3 times. Okay, so what does he eat? It is the flesh of meat, then fish, pomegranates, then all these come under lavish meals only. So that was what he was eating. Okay, so to conclude, if we say someone is living in a fool's paradise, okay, this actually has become a phrase. Okay, if someone says that this person is living in a fool's paradise, then we are criticizing them. Okay, if somebody knows the story, they will understand the meaning behind the phrase the fool's paradise, because they are not aware that their present happy situations is likely to change and get worse. Now whatever you have, you should be contented with that. There is no matter you are ambitious, you dream to achieve something, but you should not be in a position that you neglect your responsibilities. Okay, if you neglect your responsibilities, then obviously your situation is going to change and go worse. If you are ready to take more responsibilities and then deal with it, if you are capable of doing something, then you have to take up the responsibilities, but you can never avoid taking responsibilities. Okay, if you want to avoid taking responsibilities, that means you are living in a fool's paradise. Okay, so this was the summary of this fool's paradise. Hope this lesson was very interesting and very comical for you. Please go through the video, then go through the lesson. You'll be able to understand it better. Okay, so let us meet again in our next session with another essay that is written by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So thank you for your time. Take care. Keep learning. See you shortly. Bye-bye.